It's half time.
Welcome to Halftime Oranges, the footy podcast. How are you, Clayton?
Mate, I can't say I've never been better because this week I have been absolutely crook as rookwood.
I know you don't have the spicy cough, but you have been crook.
I have been crook since last Saturday.
Monday you even had a Reuben Wiki.
I had a sickie. Pardon me, all the listeners and the viewers on YouTube, but if I'm coughing, it's I have been cleared. I haven't got the COVID. But mate, some other sort of virus, but Jesus Christ, it knocked me for six.
Yes.
And it's knocked all our families. Mum and Dad's had it.
My kids
Your
have
families
had
had it.
I've half had it, so I'm only...
My two daughters have had it.
Your wife's
my
had
wife's
it too?
got it too, but yeah, shit, mate.
So if anyone's crook out there, we send our sympathy to you. We'll get better soon. But yeah,
mate, I did say I've dropped... Some people would say this is a good thing. I've dropped 7 kilos since last Saturday. What's today? Thursday.
Yeah. I
could think of easier weight loss programs, but it's worked. I'll give you the tip.
You're nearly back to your playing weight.
Well, yeah, mate. I just got no energy. Haven't been in the gym all week. I'm shattered. Anyway.
So, hopefully you're back on the mend now.
I'll be back on the mend. Hopefully, I'm not sounding better, but just a bit of R&R I need.
Excellent. So what is our podcast all about? It's we're two dribblers, tragic Dragons fans, but both should have been immortals. We're not too sure what for. And we talk about our passion, rugby league. We've both played, coached, refereed, all of it. So we know a little bit about it. And so we'll just review, preview, give our tips, our music segment of Herbie's hits, which is a good one this week. And there's still time to join our Halftime Oranges tipping competition. We may be a little bit behind the run of the green at the moment, but...
if we keep tipping like we did last week...
I know.
You won't be that far behind.
I got an email on Tuesday or something. It said, I think I got 3 out of 8 or something like that, maybe 4 out of 8. It said fair tipping. It was absolutely disgusting, my tipping, actually. So,
but, mate, everyone's doing it, so...
Yeah.
I don't have an answer.
No, exactly right. So... part of the rules are to come on our podcast, you've got to wear a jumper. Obviously, for those watching on YouTube, Clayton's just donned the coach's outfit today.
I've let the team down.
You're in the corporate white shirt.
Well, I'm gone the corporate look today, but I'm probably ready for the judiciary
hearing
tonight.
Hopefully, get suspended for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You look a bit like Ricky Stewart sitting on the sideline down there in Canberra.
Really?
With the white shirt on.
Yeah.
Yes. I've gone back to the Junior Rugby League this week. The Cabramatta 2 Blues.
The great Cabra 2 Blues there.
Yeah, one of the started in bloody 1633 or something. They did. They've been around forever and a day.
They come out with James Cook, didn't they?
I think they did. He might have played. He played left centre, I think, for him in the first year.
But the mighty 2 Blues, Cabramatta Rugby League club, they're a very famous club. Many famous players coming from there. The likes of Jarrett Hayne,
Hainsey.
Chris Keating, the Keating brothers, actually, both from there. Big T. Williams.
Yeah. Jeff Gerard, I believe.
Yes, that's there. Right. Yeah, big Jeff Gerard.
First player ever to get 300 games, isn't he?
I don't know, mate.
I think he might be.
Is that right? First 3.
Check that up, but I'm pretty sure.
Aidan Tolman this week from the Sharks, 300 games.
Is he?
Yeah.
There you go.
He'll join the illustrious group of 300 players.
Yes, that's right.
Is that on par to Buddy kicking 1,000 goals?
Well, I don't think so, because they're saying with Buddy kicking 1,000 goals, it'll never happen again because of the game, the way the game's changed.
Yeah.
But I reckon the way our rugby league athletes are, you see these 17 and 18-year-old kids that are now as big and strong and tough as men coming in, and they can play until they're 36 and stuff like that, like 18, 19 seasons. I reckon it's going to happen more often. 300.
I heard an interesting conversation on an opposition podcast.
You listen to other podcasts?
I was listening to an opposition podcast.
Wow.
The question was brought up along the lines of, okay, Buddy's 1,000 goals. He's the 6th player to do it.
Yes.
And his Plugger's 1,300 and something goals. So he's still 300 and something behind Plugger, and he won't reach him. But Brett Morris retires last year, and he's 4th on the all-time list of rugby league. So the game's been going... Try scorers. So the game's been going since 1908, and he's the 4th highest. But we don't have 100,000 people invade the pitch when he goes into the...
Breaks the record
You know
or
what I mean?
whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
Billy Slater ended up being second of all time in try. Like Ken Irvine, 212. No, I don't think that'll ever be reached. You know what I mean? Someone will have to play for 100 years, and nor it should be beaten. I think it should. You know, I mean, Ken Irvine was one of the greats. So I think it should always be there. 212 tries, but we just don't
Celebrate that.
celebrate the same sort of thing.
Well, it's a little bit like when Darryl Halligan broke the record for most points ever.
Yeah.
And then I believe Haslam passed him.
Haslam, and then Jason Taylor, and then Andrew Johns,
Yeah.
and then Cameron. Like it was just.
I don't believe. I think that should have been celebrated a lot more as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So a little bit of NRL news this week. We'll probably touch on these more as we go through each game. But Mitch Barnett suspended for 6 weeks for a stray elbow and a bit of a brain snap, I believe.
Yeah, this Newcastle was right in this game. They led 6-4 when Barnett dropped the elbow on his chin, and then got sent off, and it was game over. You know what I mean? You just knew that was going to happen. It's like when a player goes to the sin bin, and I'll discuss that a bit more on another game and give the referee another bashing. I don't know, like 6 weeks. I don't know. Like you look at that Terrell Fumiano from St George. He's got 5 weeks for that hip drop, and now, to me, that was over the top because he's got no control in that tackle.
Yeah.
Of the bloke particularly running the ball. Like, he can't control where his body's going to be. So you think this bloke's... Now, you can't tell me... Barnett's come out and said it's not deliberate. Mate, the fucking footage I seen, geez, it looked like it was deliberate.
Yeah.
Like, he's just running past and he's just thrown his elbow out and clipped him on the chin. I don't know whether they got it right or not. I'm not 100% sure.
Do you think Darryl Broman and Les Boyd should have went in and represented him?
Oh, Jesus, if Broman was there, he probably would have tried to triple it, you know what I mean?
Yes. For those older listeners may remember that incident.
But they got to get that shit out of the game.
100%, and I agree. And not only that, it goes back to junior rugby league, which I am involved in, and mums and dads see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it stops little Johnny and little Jenny from playing because what happens if it happens in our game?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. And that's what they're also trying to achieve with the high shots as well. Anything around the melon, bang, penalty, sin bin, whatnot, because they're trying to clean up the game. So
yeah.
Jaden Sewer missed 1 week after a grade 2 high tackle.
Yeah, this is outrageous. Like,
I don't know whether this stems back to having a little bit of form there.
He's obviously got a bit of form with the last few weeks with having a couple of sin bins, but, mate, I watched being crook all weekend. I got, actually, for the first time for a long time, I got to watch 8 NRL games. I don't think Liam was happy about it, but yeah, I got to watch 8. But I think it was just before, or might have been just after, Sewer got sent to the sin bin. Tariq Sims clocked a Sharks player.
Yes.
And I think it was just given as a penalty.
Penalty, yeah.
So, and I didn't see much difference between the two.
I agree.
And then in the Parramatta Melbourne game, Big Nelson's clocked one of the Parramatta forwards, and he's got off with a fine. Like, where's the consistency? This is what players and fans are getting the shits about.
Yeah,
is the consistency of this. One bloke's getting a week, and one bloke's Melbourne. Like, some blokes are protected species. Like, we just got to start, and we're either letting them all go, or penalise, or they're all getting weeks.
Yes. I agree with that. The consistency is the big thing. Jack Hetherington from the Dogs suffered an anterior shoulder dislocation against Manly and is likely to miss the rest of the season. He'll be a big miss for them.
He will be a big miss for them because I think I commented a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that we spoke about. I think they found his right position on the edge.
Yes.
And he was really damaging out there. He wasn't around the middle where he was spending time in the bin and so forth. He was really damaging out there on the edge, and now they're gonna miss that. So Canterbury haven't got the greatest depth of all as it is, so losing any of those sort of players, that they're going to need them.
Kickout might get a start there earlier than expected.
Gus will be hoping.
Yes. And Parramatta's Ray Stone, game winner, as it's bounced back off the post. He's the only one chasing. Regathers, steps Jerome Hughes, does his knee, ACL.
No, steps Ryan Pappenhausen.
Was it Pappenhausen? I thought it was Hughes.
No, it might have been Hughes. You could be right, mate.
And does his ACL, winning the game.
And finishes his career because he's moving to the Dolphins in 2023.
So that's the end of his career at the Dolphins. Is that what you're saying?
No, sorry, finishes his career at Para.
I was going to say.
But mate, this game was semi-final football.
Yes.
This was a fantastic game to watch. It was end to end. Players from both teams were on fire. I thought from Parramatta, I thought the King Gutho, he was good. Reid Marnie was outstanding, I thought, for them. And it was last man standing, really. Both teams had a few injuries and a few head knocks. Cameron Munster was awesome for the Storm in this game.
So was Pappenhausen.
Pappenhausen was outstanding. Yeah, they was really good. It was just semi-final football.
You seen there was one shot there. They sort of knew it was going to extra time, and there was still about 6 minutes to go, but like it was just played in that sort of 30 to 30, and one team would kick, and the other team would bring the ball back, and you could see forwards just hands on knees, just trying to suck it in for the next.
But even the forwards were just looking for the backs to come in and have a few settles to hit the ball up. But it was brutal. The game was absolutely brutal. So it was one of the best games to watch.
Yes. The review of the weekend's results. St George Illawarra Dragons and Cronulla Sharks. St George 12, Cronulla Sharks 36. Are the Sharks the real deal?
Sharks are, I don't know if they're going to win the comp. They're going to improve on last year. But fuck, they got a leg up from the referee in this game. As soon as Jaden Sewell was in the bin, it was game over. Like, you might as well. Referees got to be a bit cautious with putting people in the bin and sending. I can understand the Mitch Barnett one, straight off, boom. But it's just the game's over. You might as well just put a bloke in the bin. You might as well just turn the lights off because the game's over.
But just on that, the clubs and players have been advised that anything high should be a sin bin. Yeah. So
it's a contact sport.
But yeah, it's still up to the players to clean their act up as well.
I'll take a memory from my old coach, Rugby League coach at James Cook High, Mr. Tony Farr.
Yes.
If you can't take a kick to the head, you shouldn't be playing.
Right. Well, he's
quoted by Tony Farr.
Tony Farr. He has got a good head for radio.
He has got a good head for radio, but
he'd probably put his head where some people wouldn't put their feet, though.
You just, we're playing Rugby League.
I know we're Dragon supporters and we're disappointed with the result. I thought the Dragons got bashed in the forwards. But
I think Cronulla, like you and I spoke about, Cronulla's offside.
Yeah, they just seem to be up so quick. But geez, Nico Hines was impressive.
Nico Hines was good, but he was made to look good because there was no pressure put on him.
Dale Finucane might be by the year there too. Yeah. West Tigers 12, New Zealand Warriors 16.
This was a tight game, back and forward, and the Tigers were the better team. There was actually 4 chances that the Tigers had chances to score. Luciano scored a try, and the referee didn't review it. And when they slowed it down, it was actually a try. So they've only got done by 4, and he scores that try beside the post. They actually win the game, but Tigers had plenty of chances and just couldn't put the points on. But both teams, I think, not setting the world alight.
I think we mentioned about the Dogs last week that they don't know how to win. I seem to think that the Tigers may be similar, that they don't know how to win.
Yeah, there's lacking confidence there on both.
The South Sydney Rabbitohs 28, Sydney Roosters 16.
Both teams were pumped for this.
They certainly come out ready to rip and tear. The old Book of Feuds, I think, from South Sydney was certainly brought out. Russ had read a couple of pages out of that for them.
Yeah.
But the Roosters, geez, they look clunky.
Well, I think there's more questions about the Roosters' loss than it was about the Rabbits' win, to be honest. That they're probably coming out of that game because And I see the team list. We'll go through the team list again here shortly. But Trent Robbo's obviously out this week with COVID, the coach. But he keeps naming Hargraves and Aaron, what's his name, Crichton, Angus Crichton, naming them on the bench. Like, they're playing the two toughest teams back to back. They played South last week, they're playing Penrith this week. And they've both been four dominant teams. And you play your most two...
Especially someone like Hargraves, that he's got a bit of mongrel about him, and he won't take a backward step. Like, you'd love to see him and Fisher Harris going toe to toe.
Well, obviously
they got the kickoff.
Yeah.
Chief Harrigan and
exactly right.
Spud
exactly
Carroll
right.
style.
So I know they started with Lindsay Collins last week and Siwa, but Robbo, it's not working. You need your tough man out. This week against Penrith, a little sneaky. So Fisher Harris has been named at number 24. So I'm not sure whether he's...
Yes, I've highlighted that.
I've highlighted it. So just whether he's going to have a start or not, I don't know. But
yeah, so he's coming back from...
See what happens. But South played well, but yeah, I don't think South should be celebrating too early because the Roosters weren't that flash.
Yeah, exactly right. Penrith Panthers, Newcastle Knights, top of the table clash. Newcastle 20, Penrith Panthers 38. Firstly, did you see the crowd out at Bathurst?
Yeah.
How good was that?
Well, I went to Bathurst yesterday.
People still leaving the ground. That's how bad it was.
No, I went to Bathurst yesterday, and the bloke I had to meet out there, he was at the game.
Yes.
And he said, "Did you see the game?" I said, "Yeah, I've seen the game." He said, "Mate, we had 12,000 people in the grandstand." But they jammed it.
It looked great for telly. That's a fantastic ground out there. But it just looked great for telly where, like, if you got stabbed, you couldn't have fallen over.
No.
It was just packed. The whole hill was packed. Had the mountains in the background.
Yeah.
I think, well, I'd rather see that than...
110%.
Well, even if it was the same amount of numbers out at Homebush.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to tell that there was that same amount of people. But it's just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's a game this week at Mudgee.
Mudgee, yes.
Canberra, Manly.
Correct.
Is that a Manly home game?
Yes.
They're taking it to Mudgee.
Yes.
Wow. I thought that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
But same again. They should be doing more of that because that's 12,000 out at Homebush is like a pimple on a fucking pumpkin.
Yeah, but and the country people, especially that game, like it was 1v2.
Well, they've been crying out for it. We've had COVID for the last 2 years. They've been isolated. They haven't been able to go anywhere. We've said it. You take the game to the people,
and
you build it.
They will come.
Absolutely.
Just on that one, Penrith again were just clinical.
Penrith were good. I think Newcastle were going to put up a good fight if they had 13 players on the park. But as soon as Barnett left, it was game, set, match. And Penrith's 3-0 without Cleary.
Yeah, not bad.
Bloody good.
Not bad. So, and probably just on that, it proves that they might be strong around State of Origin time still.
Yeah, well, that was. I think I mentioned that real early that I'm not sure how Penrith's going to go with depth because they lost so many outside backs like Naden and Momirovski and Tyrone May yeah.
So
they mightn't lose. They mightn't lose Toto at time of State of Origin. He might be still out injured, but I think the 6 and the 7. Luai and Cleary and Isaiah, he'd be first bloke pick.
And but it's probably not a bad thing either that O'Sullivan's come in. He's got 3 games under his belt. So he's not State of Origin time. He's not walking in fresh.
No.
I know you can do a lot of stuff on the training park, but that doesn't relate to game scenarios.
Exactly right. I tell you what, some other clubs will pick him up.
Yeah.
He'll end up at the Dolphins, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, there's not too many halfbacks on the market, or decent halfbacks.
No, and not when his dad's the recruitment officer up there.
Yeah.
He'll be at the. You heard it here first.
Breaking news.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
Sean O'Sullivan to the Dolphins.
Melbourne Storm 24, Parramatta 28. We spoke about this one earlier.
Great game. Fantastic game to watch.
And I think you sort of have a look again, besides the Panthers, nice. Again, there hasn't been too many blowouts.
No, close.
Yeah, which
was
is
toe to
good.
toe.
So, the Raiders 24, Gold Coast Titans 22.
What a
another
game.
Close one.
What a game this was. This was a game of 2 halves.
Yeah.
So the Titans led 22-0 with about a minute to go before half time, and the Titans scored a lucky one, bit of a pinball in the corner
Just before.
And Canberra got a bit of a spring to their step, and then, they come home with a wet sail.
Yeah, I think this was similar to the game before, the week before Titans Parramatta, where the Titans were down and then come back. So yeah,
I see there's a couple of changes with the Titans this weekend after that result.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in the review. So
Yep.
Broncos 12, Cowboys 38.
This was probably my most impressive game of the week.
Yes.
I got to watch the Cowboys for the first time this year. Mate, they are a good side. You can just the way they get together, they're playing for each other. Mate, Todd Payton's not on the nose up there.
No,
I've got
a little bit of a stat for you later on when we review.
They're all in the same.
Go on the same way.
They're all going the same direction, mate. They all look good, and they got some unknown players. But mate, geez, they're having a go.
I think that's when you look at it, you do need some unknown players that play above their weight. Like I've mentioned before, back when Cronulla won the comp, Jack Bird, he was playing in the centres.
Matt Pryor.
Yeah, that type of thing. That well even they wouldn't have been on big money then, but they just played.
Chris Heinington.
They might have been on 200, 250,000, but they were playing like $600,000 players. So.
Exactly. I mean, Melbourne's done it for ages.
Yeah, exactly right. Matt King was a prime example.
But for Melbourne.
For Melbourne, yeah. North Sydney reserve grader.
I'll tell you who's another one this year for Melbourne. Josh King.
Josh King, yeah. Must be the name.
Must be the name. He's killing them.
So, and Manly and the Dogs, Manly 13, Dogs 12.
It was the opening of the new grandstand over at Brookvale Oval.
Yes.
Or Four Pines Park, whatever they call it now. But it's always Brookvale Oval to me. With the Bob Fulton stand in it, and they did a really good job. Conditions were shit house.
Yeah.
I seen Noah in his arc there at one stage. And Dogs led early, 12-0. And then right at the death, like half-time, they come back 12... So Manly led 12-10 at half-time.
Yeah.
And then Canterbury got a penalty goal, 12-all, and Cherry Evans does it again.
Yeah.
I'd like to know a stat on how many times he's done that. He kicks a field goal to win the game late. It was a wobbly off field goal, but got there.
Still counts. Round 5 of the WNRL, and the last round before semi-finals. The Dragons 16 beat the Roosters 10. This was another great game.
This was a fantastic women's rugby league game.
Yeah.
This was semi-final quality. Emma Tonagato.
Yes.
What a player. She was everywhere. If she didn't get the 3, the 2 and the 1 Dally M points, she made a tackle, a try-saving tackle, and you've probably seen it on social media on Jess Surgis, who's former Golden Boot winner, a former Dragon, and NRLW superstar.
Yeah.
But Emma scored 1, made plenty of line breaks. She is an athlete.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw St George Illawarra. They put that tackle up from
social.
Yeah. And so Jess Surgis's nickname is Winks.
Winks.
Because she's won everything. And
who needs a Winks?
Who needs Winks when you got a Ferrari?
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a little bit of a stab at Jess Surgis, who was a former Dragon. Obviously left there to go to the Roosters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a tremendous tackle, so it was good to see.
But you know the rules, Drew, when you leave.
Yeah. So you've forgotten.
Absolutely.
So
red felt pen.
Titans Knights 14-10. Titans over the Knights. This was another good game.
This was a grinding game. They were back and forward. Mate, the Newcastle Knights girls should have they should take a pat on the back because they haven't got too many big names. The fullback Teitzel is their captain.
Yes,
she's a goer. But mate, they got some good players there. They're obviously going to be better for the future. They got a few juniors and that, few making their debut to the game and so forth. But yeah, they're having a shot. They're having a go. But Titans got a bit more experience and come out on top. It was a good grinding win, but a lot of errors in this game.
Yeah,
it was sort of played within the 30 to 30.
I'd like to see the actual girls game played with a mod size football, so that step down.
Yeah.
and I just think that it'd increase the skill level. They're extremely skillful now, but you
Could be right.
you'd still get that Gidley-esque flick pass and that type of thing with a bit of a smaller ball. Obviously, the girls' hands are a little bit smaller, but I just think that would just see the skill level go through the roof. The offloads in tackles, and you see now that the blokes pick the ball up one hand and they're running down the sideline just with the ball in one hand.
Yeah.
I reckon with a mod ball, the girls would be able to do the same type of thing.
You'd think so.
So, and the Broncos 38 over the Eels 4. So the Broncos need to win by 21 or something
21
like that
to take the minor premiership.
And they obviously did that quite easy.
Yeah, Para didn't really put up much of a fight, to be honest. They lost Boteal Welsh early in the first half there.
They?
She's done an ACL or something,
Yeah.
I believe, but she's a big star of theirs and brings the ball back well and dangerous in attack for them. And losing her buggered them up because Tiana Panatani had to go back to the fullback, and same again. She's good in defence, out on that edge, and the Broncos just took advantage of it once she moved.
And in the flip side, we'll preview the semi-finals, but it's actually probably in the Dragons' favour not to win the minor premiership.
Yeah, because they've got a bit of an easier run.
Even though the Roosters finished 4th,
yeah,
I still think they're a tougher team than the Titans.
I do too.
So it's 1v4, 2v3. So I think it might have actually played out benefit for the Dragons not to win the minor premiership. I know it's
one thing that stood out for me with this Broncos side, they're unrelenting up the middle of the field. Millie Boyle hits the ball up. Chelsea Lenarduzzi hits the ball. Amber Hall hits the ball up. They're just punishing through the middle.
Yeah.
And they must be so strong, or they're so big and they're so mobile, but the girls just can't handle it.
The thing too, and they do it in defence though too. Like you're sending your prop up, and 3 of them are coming in and just driving you back and driving you back. Like it's actually really good football. You very rarely get those 3 girls from the Broncos. They don't get sat on their ass. Yes.
And they never get pushed back.
Yeah.
And they're always post-contact meters are always positive. They never get driven back.
It helps with the play the balls and that type of thing.
Oh, big time, mate. Big time.
So we will now preview round 4 of the NRL. Thursday, 8:05, Seabus Super Stadium. Gold Coast Titans up against the West Tigers.
Couple of tough games here, mate, to pick out. And this is the first one tonight. Jermaine Osako is in at fullback.
He comes in
for the Titan, and Jaden Campbell is out. I don't know whether there's an injury.
I think there is an injury there, yes.
Is there? Yes. Or whether he's just been playing like a busted. Big loss for the Titans here. Isaac Leo, he's out as well, but that forward pack's still pretty dominant. Kevin Proctor and Jared Wallace comes onto the bench for the first time for the Titans.
Yeah, Kevin Proctor actually plays his 100th game for the Titans. So he's now got 170 odd for Melbourne and 100 games for the Titans.
Well done, Kevy. Mate, toss of the coin. Titans fell apart in the second half against the Raiders last week. I'd only be taking the Titans at home here against...
Well, there's 2 reasons I'm probably taking the Titans here. I just want to mention Kenny Mamalo comes back in on the wing for the Tigers.
Big Stefano for the Tigers is a big loss.
And even Thomas McKaylee, he's a big loss as well. So that's the reason behind me taking the Titans 1-12.
Jack, I like the little 6 for the Tigers. Jack Madden, Jock Madden, I should say.
Yeah, so he come in last week.
In
replace of Hastings.
He gives a little bit of creativity.
So yeah, I'm taking the Titans 1-12.
Yeah, I'll take the Titans as well, head to head.
6 p.m. Friday night from PointsBet Stadium, the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks up against the Newcastle Knights.
This is a tight one, I reckon.
Kalen Ponga returns from a knee injury.
Yeah.
Brody Jones is in for Mitch Barnett. Ronaldo Mulatalo returns. And Talakai goes from the second row out into the centres for Connor Tracy.
How good was he last week?
Who's that?
Talakai.
Yeah.
He was untouchable, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was on fire. And I see he got 2 points.
Jesse Ramian was also impressive last week. I can't wait to see Jesse Ramian come up against like Tony Staggs and those types.
Yeah, that'll be a good battle, won't it? Mate, I'm only going... Newcastle's been good. Obviously, they got let down last week against Penrith and got their pants pulled down a bit. But toss of the coin, I wouldn't be surprised either team. I'd probably tip them towards the Sharks only because it's at home.
I'm actually going the Sharks 13 plus here.
Wow, you think they're going to put a number on them?
Yeah, I think their forward pack is just does the job. But yeah, in the dark down there at Shark Park, I think they'll be 13 plus. There'll be a massive crowd too. Friday night they'll be all being on the sauce and then getting back to Northies. But yeah, I think it'll be a big crowd too for them now that they're winning a few games on the trot. So
yeah.
The 8:05 game from Bluebet Stadium, Penrith. The Penrith Panthers up against the South Sydney Rabbitohs. The South Sydney Rabbitohs unchanged after the win after the Roosters. Nathan Cleary, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's come in to play halfback to replace Sean O'Sullivan. He's back from injury. And Liam Martin's been named at 19 and James Fisher-Harris at 24. So it'll be interesting to see if those
Let's see what Ivan does here, eh? Obviously, a grand final replay from last year. Big inclusion, like you said, Nathan Cleary. Scott Sorensen's named at number 12 for the Panthers at the moment. It will be interesting to see. I think if Fisher-Harris plays, I think Penrith win.
Yeah.
If Fisher-Harris doesn't play, I think South win.
Right. Big call. Big call. So,
well, it brings them back into the game. If Fisher-Harris doesn't play, it brings... I just look at the bench there for Penrith. They've got Mitch Kenny, Jermaine Hopgood, Lindsay Smith, and Jamaan Solomon. Not your average run-of-the-mill players known on a daily basis.
Yeah. I still think Penrith will be too good. I got Penrith 1-12.
I think the crowd will be absolutely massive.
Yeah. Grand final replay.
Mate, yeah.
3 o'clock on Saturday, the Warriors up against the Brisbane Broncos from Moreton Daly Stadium at Redcliffe.
What a complex this is up at Redcliffe. Really good setup. Mate, I hope they get a good crowd there, particularly having the Broncos. It should be a good turnout for them. One thing I do notice, I got to watch this game where the Broncos played the Cowboys last week, and the Broncos had a go. Yeah. The Broncos forward pack had a go. Kevy Walters, the coach of the Broncos, must be happy with the side because he's made no changes. Yeah, Jordan Ricky is a question mark. Yeah, he's got a rib injury. Thomas Flegler comes in on the bench, returns from injury. Matt Lodge ends up for the Warriors playing against the Broncos for the first time. And Kirk Catewell has been named at number 24. He's got a hammy, I think. So it'll be interesting to see if he comes back into it. So he's a big loss. He's a big loss for him with Kurt Capewell. Yeah, so the Warriors are coming off a win and the Broncos are coming off a loss. Yeah, I think the centres here will be a good matchup. Jesse Arthurs and Rocco Berry up against Katoni Staggs and Herbie Farnworth. Yeah, if this is a dry track up there, I'm not sure what the weather conditions are going to be like. Yeah, if this is a dry track, this will be an electric. This could end up like 62, 61 or something like that. You know what I mean? And another interesting thing here is number 24 for the Warriors, Sean Johnson. Yeah, I didn't notice that one. So let's see what interesting. Let's see what Brownie does there. Might have him up his sleeve. Again, this is going to be a toss of the coin. I'm going to go with the Warriors, 1-12. I'll go for a draw after 80 minutes. Wow. Okay. There you go. Golden point, and then you toss the coin. Saturday, 5:30 from Glen Willow Oval in Mudgee. The Manly Warringah Sea Eagles up against the Canberra Raiders. They should have a big crowd. Yes. Mate, this is another tough one. I can't choose this one. Obviously, both teams coming off a close win. Manly at home and also Canberra at home. Canberra's backs last week, I got to watch them against the Titans. A couple of guys impressed me here. Matt Tomoko. Yes. Sebastian Christ played last week. Is he? He's out. He's out. But what's his name? Tomoko was, I thought, outstanding. Jack Whiten was at his best in the second half. He really stood up. But Tommy Starling, mate, it all evolves around him. It all evolves around him at dummy half. He was the conductor. I'm going to actually go the Eagles here. Right. Because Raiders' last 5 games, this is their pattern. Win, loss, win, loss, win. So so they're due to lose? Yes. Wow. I can see you put some thought into it.
I do like though what the Eagles benches are offering with Dylan Walker and Ethan Bullimore coming on.
Yeah, I've highlighted that too, mate. I think that but you look at the Canberra bench, mate. Frawley, Emre Gula, Adam Elliott, who had an absolute cracking game last week. He was on fire. And then Corey Horsburgh. So, that, mate,
it's going to be a good
both benches
battle.
sort of cancel each other out. It just depends on, same again, I guess, the conditions. Canberra's probably used to going to be, it's probably be a bit slippery.
It's 5:30, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going Eagles 1-12.
Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. I shan't be having any money on this one.
No. The Cowboys up against the Roosters, 7:35, Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there at Townsville.
Mate, Cowboys were on fire last week, and this is back home, and they are playing some good footy. Tommy Dearden, I know we've been chomping at the bit to say get Scott Drinkwater in there.
Yes.
But Tom Dearden and Chad Townsend, really, really good. I'll tell you the bloke that impressed me the most from the Cowboys. Second row, number 12, Jeremiah Nanai.
Yeah.
He's impressed me that much. I've raced him straight into my Supercoach team this week.
There you go.
He was really, really good. Like we spoke about earlier, Robbo has got Angus Crichton and Jared Warrior Hargraves on the bench.
Again.
I'm not sure whether that's going to work for him. Roosters look a bit tired, a bit clunky.
They look extremely clunky.
And 7:35, it's going to be humid up in Townsville. So, and mate, these blokes are unfigured. There's a couple of blokes off the bench for the Cowboys. Reuben Cotter,
yes,
who just tackles his ass off. And this other bloke here, they got Griffith Neem. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't.
Mate, he's an absolute missile. He comes out of the line. They kick downfield, and they get him in the corner, and he just lines up the next runner because he's going to put him over the fence.
Yeah.
Mate, he's dynamite. Have a look at this bloke play.
Just a couple of points I've got here. So after the first 3 rounds, Cowboys have got the best defence in the comp. Only let in 24 points.
Actually, on another podcast today, I heard the same thing. And the 4 tries, like one of those tries was that Herbie Farnsworth where the ball took an absolute dipsy doodle.
Yeah.
He got a mongrel of a bounce, and Herbie Farnsworth dives on it last week to score. That's one of the tries. Like that's arsey.
Yeah.
They haven't played. They played the Tigers. They played the Broncos.
I'm not too sure.
I'm not sure who else they played, but they haven't played too many of the
Dogs.
Dogs. There you go. First week. So they haven't played too many of the top sides. So you could probably understand why they got the best defence.
But on the flip side, and this I think the Roosters would be extremely disappointed because they're a defensive-based sides. Their average points conceded this year is 20 points.
Yeah.
So
that's not Rooster-like.
No, it is not Rooster-like. But then again,
I've said it before. I don't think the Roosters lose back-to-back. But this could be a week.
Well, they did last week and the week before. So.
But you don't see them lose too many back-to-back.
Yeah.
But I really think the Cowboys
are. Cowboys?
I really think the Cowboys are. I think they're at $2.75, mate. I really think, and they're in my best bet in one of the legs of my 8-league multi, and I think they're 6.5 with at the line, 6.5 points at the line.
I'm going with the Roosters, 1-12, because they've never lost at this venue.
Really?
3 from 3.
Oh, mate, it might be time.
Could be time. Records are there to be broken.
That's right.
4:05 Sunday, the 3rd of April. The Melbourne Storm up against the Bulldogs down in Amy Park. Xavier Coates come back in for the Storm. Harry Grant's back there. Brendan Smith's named on the bench. I'm Melbourne 13 plus here. Melbourne don't lose too many back to back.
Melbourne by how many? Let's get as much on them as you can.
The interesting thing here is with the Dogs, they've got the second best defence in the comp. They've got the worst attack. So they cannot score points. Again, it's similar to what you mentioned before that players on the bench is not working. Having no halfback there for the Dogs is not working.
No.
It's interesting that Jaden Ockenball's been named at number 23.
Well,
he should be probably named at number 43.
26.
Yeah. So.
Well, he was named last week, and I seen they brought that Aaron Shoup in, which we tipped Trent Barrett onto.
Yeah.
in our podcast and said, "Listen,
Avid
Trent."
listener.
Yeah, Trent. He obviously took notice of us because he punted Dock and Ball,
Yeah.
and Shoop got a start. So, shout out there, Trent. I spoke earlier, mate, about an impressive forward for the Melbourne Storm. This Josh King. They're getting
Yes.
big minutes out of him. He's Finucane-like. Best bet of this game for the Dogs. Tavita Pangai Jr. to get sin bin.
Yeah, and probably Paul Vaughan to join him at some stage too. So I got the Storm 13 plus here for sure.
Yeah, name your price.
In the last game of the round, 6:15 Sunday night, Combank Stadium, the Parramatta Eels up against the Dragons.
This will be a good game. I know Para normally grow an extra leg. I just hope it's a dry game. Para grow an extra leg at Combank, but Saints have got a really, really good record at Combank Stadium too.
Yes.
So Aaron Wood comes back for the Dragons. Obviously, we lost. Jaden Sewer is a big loss.
Jack Gosowski comes in there.
Gets a start.
Matt Feagai gets his first
Matty
start for the
Feagai
year in place of Cody Ramsey.
Yeah. So Ramsey must be injured, I'm guessing.
Yes.
I'd like to see a bit more out of Terrell Sloan. And also Amone. Amone's got to be. He's got to step up because there's a bit of pressure on. I think Bud Sullivan's available shortly. Andrew McCulloch named as number 21.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if Hook brings him forward.
Well, it's interesting too because looking at the injuries, a lot of them have round 5, round 6, whatever round it is. He's TBA.
Yeah.
So it might be
indefinite.
It might be the old plays there. As much as I do love the Dragons, I'm actually tipping the Eels here. I think their forward pack will be too big, too strong for.
I think their forward pack's their key. Reid Marnie is obviously the player. Junior Paulo and Campbell Gillard up front there for him. Dylan Brown had a fantastic game against the Storm last week. The Parramatta 5-8. He was on fire,
Yeah.
but yeah. When you look at the two teams, just with the teams that's named at the moment, there may be some changes with McCulloch going to 9 and Moses going back to 14. Jack DeBellin starts on the bench with Tarek in at lock. So we'll just wait and see. I noticed obviously Aaron Woods was available this week, but both Frankie Molo and Blake Lowry kept their spots, which I've been pretty impressed with those two starting front rowers.
Yeah, certainly. So that wraps up our preview of round 4, the semi-finals for the WNRL this week. It's actually interesting to see that this is the 2021 comp. So
Same 4 teams.
Well, no, this is the actual 2021 comp. So
right.
So it's interesting to see that. So the Dragons up against the Titans on Sunday at 12 o'clock from Leichhardt Oval, and the Broncos up against the Roosters on Sunday at 1:45 from Leichhardt Oval.
Yeah, I think the Dragons made over the Titans.
Yes.
And obviously the Broncos over the Roosters.
Yeah, certainly. So
I think we'll end up with the Dragons-Broncos
which
grand
is the
final.
same as last year.
Yeah.
Or the season before, and they go to the grand final next week up in
In
Redcliffe.
Redcliffe, yeah.
Yes, so this week we pick our favourite player of all time from a certain club, and this week is the New Zealand Warriors Brew.
I was waiting for the bro part of the end. When you look at the history of the Warriors since they've been in, there's a couple of players that come to mind straight away when you think of the Warriors coming in, and there's probably 2 that stand out, and I've gone for one of them. There was obviously Stacey Jones.
Stacey, yeah.
You think he's the lifeblood of the Warriors, but another bloke there, and he didn't start as a Warrior, but he lives and breathes with Ruben Wiki.
Yes.
He just breathes the Warriors.
Yeah, certainly.
And that New Zealand culture.
Yeah, he's and it probably shows too that he's still on the coaching staff there as a strength and conditioner, and
correct.
And he wouldn't take a backward step. It's interesting to see his career. He started as a centre down in Canberra and ended up as a prop over in the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly right.
His career,
I think he's
tough.
Yeah, tough. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Strong. Mine is
Who have you got?
Mark Tukey.
Oh,
Big Mark Tukey. It's,
Big Tukes.
If he wasn't 140 kilos, he was 142.
Yeah.
And he was a bit of a cult hero over there.
They
at the Warriors.
loved him over there, mate.
Yeah, the big Tukey chant used to come around, but yeah, he was good to watch. Bit of a character.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Big Mark Tukes.
He'd probably take up all 10 interchanges or all 8 interchanges
Now.
But he,
Bit like Georgie Rose.
Big Georgie Rose, yeah, but he was Big Tukes was good. So now our Would You Rather segment. Would you rather Jeff Tuvey's toughness or Nathan Tinga Blacklock's try-scoring ability? 3 years in a row, he was the number
Top
one try scorer in the NRL.
Mate, you've tugged at my heartstrings. I know Jeff Tuvey started last week. He came in last week. But like you just said it then in the Nathan Blacklock introduction, the bloke could sniff out a try in. He was a winger, and many a time you'd find him on the opposite wing. Or so many tries around the middle because he was just sniffing around the player, play the ball. He just wanted the ball. He just loved scoring points. So, mate, for that, and obviously the main thing of playing rugby league is scoring points.
Yes.
And there was none better than Nathan Tinga Blacklock.
Yeah. I think some of and you mentioned Terrell Sloan, you'd like to see a bit more out of him. He could probably sit down and watch a couple of videos of...
Absolutely. Watch a few YouTubes of...
Tinga.
Yeah.
Of just sniffing around there in the middle. And one of our favourites, Jock Mundine. It was great to see him and Tinga just combine. Chip and chase, inside, flick pass.
Obviously that famous try from 99...
Grand final
Melbourne. Just before half time, where he took the ball on the burst and busted through.
So and the other one too, Leichhardt Oval, chip and chase.
Again over the famous Joel Kane.
Yeah, chip and chase, and then regather, and then 3 or 4 backflips.
Yeah.
So Tinga gets through. Nathan Blacklock.
I remember Warren. What's the close talkers? Warren. What's the commentator?
Yeah, I know who you mean. I forget his last name.
Warren Smith. He commentated that game, and he chips over Joel's head, and he got a room service bounce.
Yes. Just So all right, Nathan Blacklock.
Nathan Tinga Blacklock goes through. Play on.
Now our encyclopedia of players from 1995. Last week we had Andy Goodway, played for Manly. He was a UK international from
first Pommy international.
171. Pick a number.
What about 333?
333. The old pickles. 3 3s. I've gone past it now. 333.
Who have we got?
I'll lick my lips for this one.
This is good. Who have we got?
Ziggy Niscott.
The great Ziggy Niscott.
Ziggy Niscott, South 1980 to 84. 114 games, 38 tries, 126 points. Newcastle representative winger, played against Great Britain in 1979 and later scored 2 tries in Newcastle North's grand final win. Originally from Maitland, Niscott came to South in 1980 as a recommended of the captain coach John Mays and went on to captain the Rabbitohs from the flank in the early 1980s. He scored 2 tries in the first State of Origin match in 1982 and played in one other match for New South Wales the same year.
The great Ziggy Niscott.
Mate, there's some big names on this page.
I knew he was a Maitland pumpkin picker.
There you go.
Who else could have we chosen?
We could have chosen Brian Niebling from the Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Nissen from Penrith and Canterbury.
You know who he's married to now, don't you?
Who's that?
Hadley's missus.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Half his life. Max Ninnis.
Max Ninnis?
Yeah, played for St George.
Wow.
And someone that our family knows, David New.
He's on there too.
He's on there too, so yes.
Former James Cook.
Yeah, he would have been coached by Tony Farr as well.
He would have known the great T. Farr.
Yes, so Ziggy Niscott, there's a name from the past. So well
done, Zig. Shout out to you, mate.
Music segment of Herbie's hits.
So there's a bit of a story behind it. So the artist is a bloke called Paul Kelly.
Right. Now
it's not the famous Australian artist Paul Kelly.
That looks like Carl Barron.
He is a very good entertainer. But this is a different Paul Kelly. And the name of the song is called Peace.
Peace.
And it's from one of my favourite movies, which is called Any Given Sunday. And anyone that knows that movie, Any Given Sunday, one of the stars in the show is Al Pacino. And Al Pacino gives this famous speech in the dressing shed to his players.
Inch by inch.
Inch by inch.
Yes.
Famous speech to the players, and this is the music from Paul Kelly that's underneath that speech. So
So this is
I just love
Paul Kelly piece,
Piece.
not the Paul Kelly How to Make Gravy.
That's the one. It's an instrumental, so there's no words, so don't wait for the introduction to kick in, but it's one of my favourites.
You can actually picture that scene
Correct.
where I've pissed all my money up the wall,
Yep.
inch by inch.
Yep. I've turned away everyone that ever loved me.
Yes. So
Inch by inch.
that's it. Paul Kelly.
Paul
piece,
Kelly piece. It's not necessarily a pump-up song.
but just a good little bit
But
of
I
music
just-
there.
I like
You
to-
will get goosebumps. Do
Absolutely.
yourself a favour. Jump on YouTube if you haven't. After you've watched this episode of Halftime Oranges on YouTube, Google Al Pacino Any Given
Sunday speech, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Yeah, you'll be ready to run through walls.
Correct.
Now, our best bet of the week. What do you got, son?
Mate, get your pens and pencils ready. I've got an 8-legger,
Yes.
and it's fair dinkum guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Wow.
Guaranteed. You'll like these, right?
Gamble responsibly, folks, before he reads them out.
So the Cowboys with the start. The Cowboys have got 6.5 at the line. So
Yes.
the Cowboys at the line. Melbourne head to head over the Dogs.
Yes.
The Titans head to head over the Tigers.
Yes.
Ruben Garrick from Manly, left winger.
Yes.
Ruben Garrick, anytime try scorer.
Yes.
Matt Tomoko from Canberra,
Yes.
left centre, anytime try scorer.
Yes.
Ravalava
I want bamboo.
from the Dragons, right winger, anytime try scorer. Xavier Coates, left winger, Storm, anytime try scorer. Into the Broncos women's
Yes.
to win head to head.
Yes.
8-legger, $91.21.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So
Just have something on
Let's
that.
have a little bit on it.
8-legger.
Or lots, whatever you feel comfortable.
Whatever,
with.
yeah, that's right.
Mine is 3 anytime try scorers.
Okay, into each other.
Into each other.
Yeah,
Corey Thompson from the Gold Coast.
against the Tigers.
Yep.
Yep.
Herbie Farnworth from the Brisbane Broncos.
Who have they got?
They've got, we just did speak about it, you think we'd know. They are up against the New Zealand Warriors.
Yeah, good chance.
And Xavier Coates from Melbourne Storm.
Yep.
Up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
And what's that paying?
$6.13
That's nice.
for 3 of those. So,
Pretty good, pretty juicy.
So yes, but gamble responsibly. So, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook or search us on your favourite podcast player, Halftime Oranges, or to see our heads on the telly, we are on YouTube. And don't forget to join our tipping comp. You will be a round 4 this week, so you'll be a couple of weeks late, but you're always a chance. Thank you for joining us, Clayton. Hope you feel better.
Stay healthy.
And as always, look short, play long.
Take care.